pharmacy technicians do have a role that is more than what it has historically been. I'm Nichole Foster, and I'm a certified pharmacy technician advanced. I have my MBA and master's in education, and I've been a pharmacy technician for a little over 20 years now. And I primarily now deal in education. I work for a company called CE Impact based out of Iowa, and we really are leaders in developing pharmacy education. One of the reasons they brought me on is they realized there was a lack of specific pharmacy technician education. So what I do there is I manage all of our pharmacy technician and client education. And so I help create pharmacy technician continuing education for technicians, but by technicians. So it's not watered down pharmacist content. It's actually designed for technicians and to meet them in their career path where they are. So recently, Governor Lee actually appointed me to the Tennessee Board of Pharmacy. I'm the first pharmacy technician to have a seat on the Board of Pharmacy. So that was really neat. I actually haven't attended a Board of Pharmacy meeting yet. I think my first one will be in November, but I have gone through orientation, and I'm very excited to represent technicians in the state of Tennessee and try to shed the best light possible on practice advancement and things like that. Historically, pharmacy technicians don't really have a seat at the table in a lot of conversations. And one of the things I've tried to do throughout my career is wiggle in my way at the table and try to get a seat at that table. And so being able to have a seat at the proverbial table is really neat because it'll add perspective of pharmacy technicians to a setting that has exclusively been dominated by pharmacists. And now we can add that unique perspective. And I think it just kind of cements the fact that pharmacy technicians do have a role that is more than what it has historically been. So my career path has been a little crazy. I started as a pharmacy technician at a retail pharmacy, just trying to get a job to get through college. And I was getting my bachelor's in biology and actually shifted gears to pre-pharmacy because I thought, I want to do this. This will be so neat. And life happened and I got discouraged and thought I wasn't smart enough to be a pharmacist and that I wouldn't succeed at pharmacy school. And the company that I worked for at the time, I taught their tech certification classes. And so I thought I could do this, I could teach. And so I got my master's in education and I wanted to teach high school biology. I quickly discovered that me and the public education system don't really see eye to eye. And it's hard for me to operate in that realm. So I stayed in pharmacy. So I was working at a retail pharmacy with a master's and felt really overqualified to be doing what I was doing. And so luckily I had a couple really good pharmacist friends of mine get a job at Vanderbilt Medical Center. And we're like, you need to come here. And one of the things that I've always noticed is that there's a lack of advancement for pharmacy technicians in many levels. And so when I got to Vanderbilt, I staffed and learned all about inpatient pharmacy and had some really great mentors and applied for a management job and started doing compliance and training and helping with recruitment and onboarding people and just really kind of getting into the administrative side of pharmacy. And one of the directors at the time really kind of nudged me and pushed me in the direction of like, you know, you have potential, you need to join ASHP, you need to join TPA, and really just try to get me plugged in. And he was very instrumental in getting me where I am as far as getting conversations started. And then I kind of just ran with it from there. We decided to launch a pharmacy technician training and education program, and it took about 3 years to get everyone to sign off and do what they're supposed to do. And then right when we were supposed to launch it, I started in that role full time in January of 2020. And then the world shut down. And so I had to start a pharmacy technician program from home and also try to navigate going into the hospital and get all that started. And so it was really challenging. But I got that program launched and got it helped get it accredited through ASHP. And so now it's off and running. And then I kind of always just looking for another way to advance myself and advance technicians' practice. And so That's when I stumbled upon CE Impact, and I do a lot of work with the Pharmacy Technician Certification Board. I'm a member of their certification council. So I get to help make decisions on what's going to happen with the state of the national certification and things like that. I was also a member of the Pharmacy Technician Accreditation Commission with ASHP up until April or May of this year. And so I got to go around and help survey pharmacy technician training programs that wanted to get accredited by ASHP. So I learned a lot through that whole process about what it takes to train technicians, what it looks like to help with education and all kinds of different practice settings. So it's been really, really helpful to my career to see how I can apply it in different settings. So for the Board of Pharmacy, I feel like it was really important that Governor Lee selected someone who could represent technicians across all practice settings. And I feel like for the most part, I have experience in a lot of practice settings across pharmacy. So I feel like I can speak to those areas, and I feel like I can rationalize things in those areas. So I think that's important. I also think it's important to have someone who's aware of what's going on nationally and at the state level, who's plugged in with groups nationally and at the state level, to have as much information as possible to make decisions. The focus of the Board of Pharmacy is to protect the public, or public health. I'm not there advocating for pharmacists. I'm not there advocating for pharmacy technicians. Obviously, that's always in the back of your mind when something comes across, but the point is like, what's for the better of the public? What's for public health? What do the people need to see from their pharmacists and their pharmacy technicians? What's going to keep the public safe? Nationally, the conversation is changing. People really do want to hear what pharmacy technicians have to say, and they really do seek out those technicians that have that knowledge base. I think for pharmacy technicians that feel stagnant in what they're doing, or are bored, or just want to grow, maybe they're not bored, they just want to do more of what they're doing now, but at a higher level. I think the motivation sometimes is hard. Sometimes it's like, I need to make more money to survive. For a lot of pharmacy technicians, especially right now in our economy, like, it's hard out there. Like, they don't get paid enough for what they do. And I think sometimes that's the driving factor. It's like, what can I do that's going to make me more money? And then I think sometimes they get into those jobs and they're not happy. So even though it's tempting to take a job just because it pays more, I would definitely advise people to seek out education, seek out training, seek out apprenticeships in areas of pharmacy that they are interested in and want to learn more about, and just grow your knowledge base, grow your skill set, make yourself valuable and really good at something, for when people think of you or think of a topic, they think of you also. We are more.